Welcome back to Rock Riddle's Reality. I am Rock Riddle. Good to see you again. I have a great story I'm going to share with you. This is a personal, first-hand knowledge story about a major international superstar in the world of professional wrestling, one of the top in the history of our business. I'll tell you the story. You tell me when you have figured out who it is, all right? I had just gone to Tennessee, to the Tennessee territory, Nashville. I was very young. I had just been in the wrestling business for, maybe a year and a half, maybe not even that long, and I'm heading to the big time, National Wrestling Alliance. Nick Goulas was the promoter. He based his promotion out of the Sam Davis Hotel there in Nashville, Tennessee. So I was now actually going in to check in to let them know I had just gotten into town. This was pretty early in the morning, around 9 o'clock, if I remember correctly, maybe 9:30. And I go into the wrestling office, I check in, I get my booking slip. That's the slip that tells me where I'm going to be wrestling for the upcoming week. On the way out, I said hello to some of the wrestlers, and I headed to the parking lot. I was about maybe 25 feet from my car when I heard a voice behind me. It said, "Hold up a minute there, Rock." It was Sam Bass. Sam Bass and Bill White. Sam Bass, one of the greatest, so two people standing there, one of the greatest wrestling managers of all time, and Bill White, a champion for so many years in the professional wrestling business. So Sam says, "Hey, Rock, where are you wrestling tonight?" Well, I looked at my booking slip. I said, "Tonight, Bowling Green, Kentucky." Sam says, "Oh, man, they must love you. That's a short trip. That's only 2-3 hours, just a few hours. Only thing is, it's a little tricky to get there. So, hey, Rock, you got a map?" I said, "Yes, of course." Maps, you may not know. No. Some people say, "You carried a map with you in your car?" "Yes, in the glove compartment." So I went to the car, I took the map out, and I started unfolding it on the hood of the car. And then I think it was Bill White who says, "No, Rock." I said, "Look," I looked around. And then Sam said, "Oh, bring the map over to the table here next to the hotel. I mean, it'll be easier to see." Well, the sun was out. It was very easy to see where it was, but if they wanted to take it from the hood of the car, or maybe put it on a flat surface on a table that was directly touching the side of the hotel, okay, that's fine. I don't have a problem with that. So I did that. Sam actually helped me flatten out the map on the table. He pointed at an intersection on the map. He said, "That's where we are right now. Now, what you want to do is you go up straight that way to the 40. You go west to the 40, and Sam was backing away from me. Bill White was backing away from me as they're talking, which didn't make any sense to me. And then you want to take the 65 north. Now, Bill's probably 18 feet away. Sam's at least 15 feet away from me. And there's a little grin on both of their faces. So I started to ask them, like, "Hey, guys, what are you doing? What are you doing over there?" And at about that time, there was a very loud splash. I would say 30 or more gallons of water had just hit the pavement at high velocity about 5 feet away from me. I looked up to the top floor of the hotel. There he was, grinning with a big wastebasket that, until a few moments ago, was full of water. Now, there are a lot of wrestlers who have great senses of humor. They pull ribs, jokes on a lot of the other guys. So, have you figured it out yet? I've given you some clues. I've told you who the promoter was. I've told you the name of the hotel, the name of the town, Nashville, Tennessee. Yep, There he was, Jerry the King Lawler, hanging out the window, laughing, holding this empty garbage can. And Sam Bass was grinning, and Sam said to me, he says, I think that's the first time he ever missed. So Jerry Lawler was scurrying around on the hotel's upper floor, and he yelled down to me. He says, hold on, Riddle. I got a message for you from the office. Well, the first message had missed, and I don't think I wanted to stand around waiting for Lawler to reload. So I smiled, I waved to him from my car, and waved to the other two guys from my car as I left the parking structure. Now, Jerry Lawler would eventually succeed with some of his ribs, some of his jokes, but he never got me with that extreme water bomb. Well, something about the professional wrestling business, the more dangerous the occupation, well, this is more than wrestling, but I think the more dangerous the occupation, the more extreme the sense of humor. Surgeons have extreme senses of humor. Law enforcement officers, people, first responders of many kinds, extreme senses of humor. Professional wrestling was, and still is, an exceptionally dangerous profession. There's dozens of my fellow wrestlers who have been seriously injured, paralyzed, even killed in the ring. So it's only natural that their sense of humor, our sense of humor, will be a bit more than most people. I had the honor to wrestle Jerry Lawler many dozens of times. I spent a lot of time in dressing rooms all over a great section of the country, discussing things with him. And it seems to me as though I actually rode with him between towns several times. I don't know how many, but let's just say probably a dozen times. It could have been a lot more. I remember being in a little town, somewhere in the middle, somewhere in the South, and it was what was called a spot show, which is not a huge arena, and it's not a major city, but it's a small town where they have maybe a high school gym, or they have some sort of a little arena type of a thing that will hold 5,000 people. So here I am in a dressing room. It's 6 feet by 6 feet, if I remember correctly. And as I'm in there, they told me, the wrestling promotion told me for that specific town, because I was pretty well known by that time in this, in the whole, well, in a lot of the country, most of the country, but certainly in all of the area that was promoted out of Nashville, Tennessee. That includes quite a few states. So the promotion said, Rock, you're too well known. We want you to come in, sneak in, don't talk to anyone, put a mask on in case anyone sees you come early. We're going to have you wrestling as somebody else. Bring a totally different outfit that you never wear, and we're going to see if we can get the people to believe that you are whatever the name was, L whatever. And I said, okay. There I am. I'm in my 6 by 6 dressing room. Jerry Lawler, hear a knock on the door. It's Jerry. Jerry stuck his head in. He says, okay. He says, Rock, you're somebody else tonight. You got to have all that blonde hair up underneath the mask. And you might want to take an eyebrow pencil and darken or something and darken those eyebrows so they won't be blonde. And I said, yeah, not a big deal. I'll darken the whole thing here so it'll look really dark from people looking at the mask. He says, yeah, that'll be good. I'll talk to you again later. That may not be enough, but I think I've got an idea. A few minutes before I'm going to go out for my match, Jerry Lawler again knocks on the door. I said, John? Oh, Jerry. He says, I got an idea, Rock. I don't want people to know who you are, so here's something. I'm going to put a tattoo on you. Not a real tattoo. I'm going to draw a tattoo on you, and that way they know that Rock Riddle does not have a tattoo, but this mask guy does, so that'll be good. I said, oh, cool. So I'm sitting there as he's drawing a tattoo on my left arm. I'm paying no attention. I'm just keeping my arm still enough for him to do it. Now it's my time to go out. I go out. I see, as I'm out there, I see some people smiling. Some of the fans are smiling. It's pointing. And I said, okay, I said, uh-oh. What kind of a tattoo did Jerry Lawler put on my arm? And then there was a teenage girl who was talking to a friend who said, oh, he's got a man's thing on his arm. I said, okay, Jerry, I guess you got me. So that's one of the many stories I could tell you about Jerry, and I don't think anybody has heard that story before. I can tell you I was in Australia, in Melbourne, Australia, on the tram years ago, probably 20 years ago. And there was a lady on the tram who has a T-shirt on, and I said, that looks like Jerry Lawler's signature. And he had drawn a whole picture on a T-shirt and autographed it for this lady. I said, wow, who would have thought? Here I am, 8,000 miles away from home. And Jerry Lawler's basically here also. I don't know if you remember or not, but when Jerry Lawler was doing commentary for WWE live, he had a heart attack. And when he had that heart attack, he died. He was legally or medically, he was medically dead for approximately 20 minutes. Thankfully, WWE cares. I'm not going to put it in past tense because I assume they still do. But they had a medical team there. That medical team was able to save Jerry's life, bring him back from the dead. 20 minutes, he was gone. We were all very concerned about him and certainly hoping that he would be okay. He became okay. It took a while for him to recover. So when you have a heart attack like that and you're dead for 20 minutes and you come back, it's not something you can jump right back into the ring. He wanted to be able to get back in the ring and wrestle again. And actually, I believe he got to that point that he did it a few more times. I ran into him at a wrestling convention, and he and I got away from the crowds. In fact, I think if I have the picture, I'll put it on the screen during the editing, and it will show Jerry and myself in an area that's not open to the regular people, and we're just talking. And during that talk, I said, Jerry, how are you? He says, I'm good. I'm good. And I said, medically, health-wise? He says, they told me it would take, I think he said his recovery would be 6 months. He said, so I've got 2 more to go, and then I'll be back to 100% or right thereabouts. I said, so Jerry, you think the doctors will clear you at that point to get back in the ring? He says, well, I think so. I think so, yeah. I said, Jerry, let you and I wrestle. One more time. Show the young kids how it's done. He said, you got it? Done deal. I had this question. I said, did he actually just say yes? Not only did he say yes, he says, yep, you got it, done deal. In other words, I never have to ask again. He's just committed. So the plan was to be at the Hall of Fame in Waterloo, Iowa, last year. Okay, I know you're watching this. You may be watching this in the year 3000, but this is 2025. So July 2024, I was going to wrestle Jerry Lawler. And Jerry told me, he says, it will be my last match. It will probably be my last match. Now, back up. I called him on a Saturday morning prior to that, maybe 6 months prior. After I had talked to him, after he said, yes, I want to do it, I talked to him. I called his cell phone on a Saturday morning. He says, hello. I said, Jerry, how the heck are you? He says, not too good. I said, what do you mean? What do you mean not too good? He says, well, I was in the hospital. I just got home a few minutes ago. I said, okay. So he had another, I think, another little heart attack. And I did not say, what did you have, how, and nothing like that. But I said, is there anything I can do? Because, I mean, I'm close. I'm on the East Coast. Wherever you are, I'm within a couple of hours. I mean, there are aircraft that will take me wherever you are. What can I do? He says, no, that's okay. He says, thank you, but I have people who are on their way right now, and they should be here and then within an hour, and they're going to watch after me while I'm here. I said, okay. Then I asked him later in the conversation, I said, do you want us to keep talking for a while? He says, yeah, let's talk for a while. I said, okay. So we're still going to do that match? He says, oh, you better believe it. The doctors will clear me. I don't have any problem with that. It's just going to be a few months. I said, July 2024. He says, yeah, no problem. No problem. We'll do it. I said, fantastic. Fantastic. And then as we got close to that date, the promoter told me, Troy Peterson, the promoter, wrestling promoter in Iowa, where the Hall of Fame is, and they have once a year a 3-day mega event that's just amazing. And if you're not there, oh, what you are missing just is, don't miss it. Don't miss it. So the promoter said, Rock, a few months before we were supposed to do this, he said, Jerry's not going to be able to do it. I said, what do you mean he's not going to be able? He said, he's not in shape. I said, look, he told me he would be cleared, and it's Rock Riddle, so he's going to be in good hands, and we're going to show the young guys how it's done. He says, well, I said, that's what I just talked to him. That's what he told me. And Troy said, okay. And then a little later on, we found out that as we got closer to the match time, and we kept holding off, waiting to get total confirmation that he would be cleared before we did the promotion on it. I had a press release written and just sitting there. Brilliant press release. I said, oh, I got to release that. I want to release it. I want to release it. And we found that the doctors did not clear him. When he was on the phone with me, he says, Rock, when you and I are in the ring, that will be my last match. And I said, wow, what an extreme honor to be in the ring with Jerry Lawler for his final match. I mean, if any young wrestler, any professional wrestler would give, as they say, their right arm, they would give anything to be in the ring with Jerry the King Lawler for his last match. And I said, and it's going to be me. This is amazing. All you have to do is ask. You think, well, that's incredible. You've got a friendship, you've got a history. Yeah, I've got all that. But suppose I said, oh, wait, he's so much better known than I am. He's known in 160 some countries, and he's one of the best in the whole world. And yeah, I'm good, but man, I don't belong on his level. Had I done that, which is what most people in my position would have done, I would have said, oh, I don't even want to ask. That's he's just going to say no. No, ask. I asked. He said yes. It ended up that he was not cleared. So I still wrestled, but I wrestled the champion, their local champion there. And I'm so proud to know Jerry Lawler, to be able to call him a friend. I don't think he's going to wrestle anymore, ever. But I will say this right now, Jerry Lawler, if you're not watching this, If you didn't watch this, somebody told you about it. Now you're probably watching it. And I just want to say, I so appreciate your friendship and your mentorship and all of the things that you have done for the sport of professional wrestling. You've certainly been someone who's been very powerful in my life. You're someone I totally appreciate. My life is better because of knowing you. I just wanted to say that. I say it publicly. So if, Jerry, you ever get to the point where you say, oh, I'm really back in shape, the doctors have cleared me, I have a new lease on life, and now, Rock Riddle, I'm coming for you. That would be so amazing. So amazing. Those are the stories. I've got other stories too, but I want to keep this video a little shorter. I have a tendency to go on and on, as you may know by now. So I just wanted to say thanks to Jerry Lawler, and thanks to each one of you for watching. If you like what we do, please subscribe, share, like. That all means a lot. Click the notification bell. That way, every time we have a new video that comes out, and there will be hundreds. I know tons of people in this industry. Rather than bore you with that information right now, go back, watch the introductory video on my channel, the introductory video. I thank you so much. I look forward to seeing you again very soon. Thank you very much.